The original Resident Evil is getting a remake. Again. Well, this would be interesting. It's not necessarily true. We're not there yet. This was like a Twitter post a little bit ago that confirmed it, but it was an April Fool's joke. But it got me thinking, what would happen if we did have that? And if so, do we really need it? Now, don't get it twisted. I'm a big fan of Resident Evil 1, mainly the 2002 GameCube remake we got. But that's the thing, it was already remade. But of course, that was over 20 years ago at this point. So would they do it again, and what would it look like? Well, yes, I think eventually we would get that, but I'm sure Capcom have a couple other things in mind. But first, what should they change in this remake if they did it? Well, honestly, I'd say not too much. Of course, graphics and, the engine, obviously kind of how they've built the Resident Evil 2, 3, and 4. They built it from the ground up. And just go from there with the blueprint that they had from the 2002 remake, maybe drop the fixed camera angle. While I enjoy it, it feels like that's what kind of turns a lot of new players off when coming to this series, especially this classic. Plus, I think it would be a fun new approach to exploring the mansion. Maybe with the dark hallways, most of your path is lit by a flashlight, getting you feeling all types of claustrophobic, and for the gameplay, I think it would improve it overall. And I do think it should go off the 2002 remake story, as it doesn't take anything away from the original, and it kind of adds stuff, like the character Lisa Trevor, which is one of my favorite characters in the series, a very tragic and just overall scary character. Another thing I would change is the voice actors. I mean, the 90s and the early 2000s were just
Oh, Barry!
That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
You're right.
They were a different time. And we've improved a lot over the years, so definitely change that up, but don't change the character designs in my opinion, or the mansion design. Those still go off. Same enemies, same characters, relatively kind of just the same story, and you honestly got a banger. I mean, I think the 2002 remake's a banger already, but I'm sure that they could improve it further, just like Resident Evil 4. I didn't think that they could improve that at all. I didn't think it really needed it, except for maybe a graphical update, but how that turned out was just amazing. So when would we get something like this? To be honest, I don't think anytime soon. We know that they're more than likely going to remake Resident Evil 5, which honestly I'm hyped for. I know a lot of people dislike that title. I have a lot of nostalgia for it personally. I played it day one with my best friend, and we put a lot of time into that game. Not the best Resident Evil at all. That goes to 4 for me personally, which is actually the first game I played in the series, so just in general, maybe I'm biased, but nonetheless, I wouldn't mind Resident Evil 5. Or they could do Code Veronica, which is what a lot of people would want to do. That could be next, but I think it'll be 5, or maybe put them back to back. Though, with Resident Evil 9 on the way, it would probably... Okay, here's how I think it would go. It'd probably be the 5 remake, then they do Resident Evil 9, and then they release the Code Veronica remake. Then we're looking at probably a Resident Evil 1, remake 2.0. I'm calling it now. That's what they're probably going to do. So if I'm right in the future, years from now, you owe me a cookie, and if I'm wrong, I'll say I'm stupid. But anyways, what do you think? Are you interested in a remake of the original Resident Evil remake? That's weird. That's so weird to say. Or should it stay in 2002? And who out there has a soft spot for Resident Evil 5? It doesn't have to be your number one, but admit you played it and you enjoyed it, except for obviously the ending. That was kind of garbage. Better than the dumpster fire that was 6. Anyways, let me know in the comments below. Let's talk Resident Evil. I'm not a master of these games. I can't say I've played every single title that's ever come out with the name Resident Evil, but just the kind of the main titles. I am a big fan, but I would love to do more Resident Evil videos in the future, but we'll see. We'll get there when we get there. So if you made it this far in the video, thank you. You are awesome. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe to see more of what I've done and what's to come. But anyways, thanks for coming, and thanks for watching.
Jill, here's a lockpick. It might be handy if you, the master of unlocking, take it with you.